I'm Amy Duke and I'm from ABB and I'm a DCs for Bees ambassador.
Tell me a little bit about why you became a DCs for Bees ambassador.
So ABB joined Host in Ireland last year, and through that, as part of the Marketing Council, I learned about the DCs for Bees program. So it's something that excited me in that I had never really done anything about bees. I'd heard through the news that our bees population is dwindling and whatnot. So yeah, I asked in ABB, is it all right if I got involved for it? And since then, I've just been picking up little tips of things we can do to help save the bees, how important it is to work towards this. So yeah, just kind of feel if we all just do a few little changes, that it'll really, really make a difference to the bee population.
I appreciate that, because what I love about the ambassador program is there's people who have, they're beekeepers and, conservationists, and, they know exactly what they're doing. And then there's others like me and you who have a little less experience and we're actually only learning. But it's great to have that perspective, because sometimes if you have too much information, you're trying to get it across, you nearly lose the message. You need to make it in a way that we can all use it, so I think it's really good to have those different perspectives in the program, so that we can actually use that for action and awareness and
yeah, that's exactly kind of what I was thinking of. Like I told you before, my back garden is fake grass, so since learning about these little tips, I've let my flower bed go wild altogether. I've hung up flower baskets, window baskets, I've put bee bombs, you can buy them in Lidl and Aldi now, under my hedgerows and around the front garden. And I kind of figure if everybody like me did a little bit like that, it would make such a difference. Like it's the perfect for lazy gardeners like me as well. It makes it a lot more easy to not do anything and feel good about it in your garden. But yeah, I kind of feel like, as you said, like there's so many people that are into bees and bee conservatives and beekeepers and people that are really passionate about it. But if we could kind of target everybody like the normal Joe Soap, like myself, to do that little bit of planting the right plants instead of the pretty ones that I'd usually go for, and kind of thinking of my lavenders now and, things that would work for bees, and kind of do it from March until October, just focus on planting new things every month.
Makes such a difference. I find myself as well now, every time I'm out or in the car and I'm driving along and I see wasteland or, sections of the road where there's just grass, and you just think, you could just get a few wildflowers in there, or a few
yeah.
Like, there's this thing, isn't there, about all these billions of trees that have to be planted, and actually there isn't the land to do it. If you were to retake back government land or even farmland to try and do it, but actually if you were to look at all of these kind of pockets of land everywhere, just tiny little pieces of land along the sides of roads and at the side buildings and everything, I think there's potentially so much more that we can do with our land use, that is just kind of saving these little pockets of land.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was even thinking that among ABB car parks and buildings and stuff, there's little patches of land here, there and everywhere. So why cut the grass? Let's do that. So when we go back to work, hopefully we'll start looking at that as well. I suppose this year was a bad year, although it was a good year because nothing has been done to them. They probably weren't cut as much either,
Absolutely. And actually, as a DCs for Bees ambassador, you've kind of covered a little bit of it there, but what would you hope to achieve out of this?
We have 180 employees in Ireland, so I'm kind of hoping if I could touch on like a third of them even to make a difference in their own gardens, that would make such a substantial difference to the bee population. So I'm going to try and appeal to the kind of just the normal people in their everyday lives. What can they do? And also, I suppose we'll look at our buildings as well and see what little changes we can make just to help with things there.
Brilliant. And actually, if you had one little tip, and you've given us a few there, because I love that, I fake grass, or what am I supposed to do? But you've made changes. If you were to give somebody one tip to that they can implement today, what would it be?
One, to stop using pesticides. There's natural alternatives. So that was one thing with fake grass. You can have weeds and stuff grow up underneath, but I found boiling water worked a charm with the weeds rather than going the pesticide route, so which are very harmful for the bees. So maybe that would be my one tip.
That's a great one. I actually just did a load down at the back of my garden with hot water as well. Now, the amount of kettles I had to boil, that was troublesome.
Yes.
Anyway, but it is a great tip. It's brilliant. And it really worked, actually. So have you or the company done anything already, or what have you got in mind for the DC?
No, we haven't done anything yet, but what I have in mind is we're working from home still. But when the offices are back open and stuff, I'm going to drive an awareness program for DCs for bees. I'd like to get a bee expert in to talk to our employees and just kind of give them a few helpful hints. Here's good plants, here's the bad plants, I suppose, as well, the ones that we avoid. And then within our locations, just let a few of the grass rows go wild to allow for bees. And then I was thinking as little giveaways rather than the usual kind of pens and bits and pieces. I'm going to look at if we can get a few of the bee bombs as little giveaways for our shows and things like that. So, yeah, a few little changes are in the pipeline.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. Thank you, Amy. And actually, I saw a gorgeous giveaway where they got the seed bombs, and it's making sure as well that you get the Irish native seed bombs. What they did was they got the seed bombs, and then they got little, like craft paper boxes made with
very good.
really nice stamps on them, so that, because the bee bombs, I think you buy them in these big kind of bags if you want to buy them in bulk, but they made these beautiful little boxes that are biodegradable as well, so you're not doing more harm. They were branded and they gave them out as lovely little giveaways, and they
I think that's the ideal giveaway, isn't it?
Yeah.
That people will remember as well. And
yeah, exactly. And I also love, which I haven't found an Irish supplier for yet, so if there's anyone out there who can make it, but seeded paper. So you can do seeded paper so that you can plant the paper. I actually had it for at my wedding. We did these like wedding favors, and they were seeded paper, and you can print anything on them that you want. So we had details about the wedding or something, and you basically just put them in soil, put the whole thing in soil, and the paper disintegrates and the seeds grow.
Oh, brilliant.
Isn't that nice?
That sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah.
Be onto something there.
I know. I just need someone to produce it. It'd be so lovely, especially, and because that's the thing as well, it's trying to get the Irish native stuff, and it's making sure that, because we've been looking at, what kind of giveaways and stuff we can do, and I actually have a big bag of Irish native seeds there that we were supposed to give away back in March. Obviously it's still in the bag there. We were going to do these little envelopes and lovely little cards inside, and what to do with the wild seed and how to spread them and all that kind of stuff, which we didn't get to do, but we did look into it quite a lot, like all the different suppliers, and just trying to, I think for us, especially because we're trying to create this kind of awareness and advocacy and action, it's making sure that we don't do things that have the wrong consequences or unintended consequences, that we give out the wrong seeds to people and then some invasive species or something. So it's trying to just make sure we're doing the right thing. So, and there is a big cost difference in that, what we're finding at the moment, is trying to do that. But yeah, that was brilliant, Amy. Thank you so much.
No problem.